Hi, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker. And today we are going to be discussing Premier Bloom. I promise I know what I'm doing. Kinda. Yes. So, this is my third Premier review video. I've been asked a number of times to do the Premier video for Bloom because there are a lot of you guys who are like me who knit and crochet, and you want to know which is the best way to work with it. Because a lot of you guys did the same thing I did, which was buy, and now you don't know what to make. So first off, let's talk about the specs of the yarn. This is a 200 gram ball. It is 656 yards. It is 100% acrylic. It is a number 3. Recommended needle size is a 5. The recommended hook is a G. It is very fluffy, very lightweight. It's very springy. The ball that I used was pewter rose, and this is all that I have left. So we're going to ignore my anti-pilling down here because this is the third video of Premier Yarn I've done a review on now. If they wouldn't make so many yarns people want to use, then I wouldn't have to talk about them so much. Oh, and you guys are so cute. So you asked which between Cinnamon Stitches and I love Premier more. We probably love Premier about as much. So this is not part of the anti-pilling collection, which is why I did not add it to my card of the comparison of the anti-pilling yarns. But I will use the white to show you guys what this yarn texture looks like. So this has a very, very fluffy, soft, squishy texture. You can see kind of how, you see how much you can depress it. It is also a very stretchy. You see this might make it a little bit easier to see. As long as you ignore my horrible manicure. Nope, you still can't see it. How much stretch is in that? It's very elastic, but not like sock yarn with elastic. It's just got a really nice bounce to the yarn. I wish I remembered the name of the fabric, but there is a fabric my mom used to call whipped cream fabric. And it's this light, fluffy, great for summer wear. I think that was actually made out of polyester, but it's so fluffy and delicious. That's what this reminds me of. If you've ever used Ice Magic, this is that same kind of texture. My Ice Magic that I used a couple years ago almost felt vaguely sticky working with it. This does not. It's a very matte finish on the yarn. So it doesn't have that like slippery, sticky feeling that Magic has. It's ever so slightly different than my experience with Ice Magic. But it's very, very similar. You can see in the ball, it's a nice squishy texture. If you ever hold a ball of it, it's nice. When I went to the Premier Warehouse sale, I bought pewter rose, hydrangea, the green one, the white one, and the like tealy aqua color. I knew I liked it. And actually, just for the record, if you do not get emails from Premier, they just launched and announced Premier Bulky or Premier Chunky. I can't remember which they're calling it. But it's like, oh shoot, and I can't see it on my wall either. It's hiding in that corner down there. What is the name of that chunky yarn they make that I like? I bought some at the Premier Warehouse sale. But it looks like it's that same lofty, fluffy texture as that. But it's stripes with the bloom section in it. So it's really, really kind of cool. If you guys haven't noticed, if you're not familiar with my channel, if you are new here, I do have a cold. I am very, very sorry. I'm having a hard time hearing myself, but what I do hear, I sound like really stuffy and gross. I do apologize for that. I talked about your pros, talked about your cons. Hopefully I remembered when I was talking about everything to say, hey, this is how much this cost. I think it's $7.99, but I'm not sure. A lot of their 200 gram balls are about $7.99. The Nordica, Spun Colors, things like that. What did I make? So I did 2 knit projects and 2 crochet projects. So we have a knitted cowl, and this is just straight knit. Whoa. Actually, I don't think there is not a pattern for a single thing I did. All of these are my own creations. But this is just a basic short cowl. I don't like a lot of bulk around my neck, so I really just wanted something that when it's windy and cold, I can pull up a little bit. I made a hat to match. That way I keep my head warm. And because of the striping and the texture into the gray sections, I mean, you can see where there's like speckling through here. I wanted a very smooth decrease, so I played with a different decreasing method than I would normally use. Off the head, you do have a slight rippling. But on top of the head, I hope you can see how more or less smooth that lays. This was beautiful to knit with. I use my ChiaoGoo needles like I always do. This flew off my needles. It was amazing to work with. That whipped fluffy texture left me with this beautiful, I mean, it's very soft fabric. It's very drapey. I did use the recommended needle size on here, so that was size 5, right? We just talked about this. Size 5. So that's what I knit with it. I came in and made a boo-boo trying to make a beanie hat, crocheted, and ended up rolling with it and making a really cool slouchy hat. So I increased from the top, worked my way down, decreased so it fit my head. I've got half double crochets here and the camel stitch here, so you can see how that lays and how that looks in 2 separate crochet stitches. Sorry about that. So it's a big slouchy hat. I hope I'm still in camera when I turn that far around, but this is a little bit tighter, just because it is crocheted, which means you're making all these tiny little knots with it. So it's not as wiggly. It doesn't have as much drape, but it's not stiff like, I mean, it doesn't stand up on its own aside from where I've got the like my hand underneath it is collapsing it. It doesn't take much, like it'll stand up like this, but I mean, its own weight starts to collapse it like instantly. So it's not, even at gauge with crochet, it's not stiff. It's still very squishy and snuggly, which I really, really love squishy yarn. I did not wash any of these, so I do not know how this holds up in the washer. With the anti-pilling, you know, I was able to show you a blanket I made many moons ago. This is a new yarn. So this is a pair of fingerless gloves that I did with just my last little bits. This all came from the same ball. I just used one. It kept going and going and going and going, just like the Nordica did. I mean, there's so much yardage in these balls, you can get a lot of projects out of them. And like I said, I still have that one little ball of the gray, and I think there are 2 strips of the bloom print left over too. But this is, once again, half double crochet in the palm area. This is worked flat. This is worked in the round. This is worked in the round. This is a front post, back post double. So, I mean, the stitching in it turns out beautiful. These feel very warm on my palms. Now, I have very hot palms, but these feel very, very snuggly, just like the hat and cowl do, where you feel very smushy and snuggly with it. I really, really enjoyed working with this. I think it makes a beautiful piece. I don't think, based on the way this is spun, even though it's medium twist, it's not particularly tight. I would say this should be fine for things like fingerless gloves, hats, scarves, sweaters, as long as you keep them up and maintain them. I actually think this would probably, based on the spin, hold up as a sweater. You might get some pilling at the underarm, but I don't think it's going to be instant like it is with, like I said, the roving style yarns and stuff. I mean, I have a really bad habit, if it's yarn I'm buying anyway, of buying yarns I already know I'm going to like. So I always feel like for these yarn reviews, I'm always saying it's 4 out of 5. But I knew that when I bought it. I already knew when I touched it, like this was something I wanted to work with. So I feel like I'm not giving you guys like really good information because I'm already buying things that I know I'm going to like. But this is a well-constructed yarn. I think this would be really good for chemo hats because of how soft it is. This would be really good for baby projects. This would be very good for adult squishy projects. It's really nice around your face and neck. So it's great for things like cowls, scarves, hats, shawls. I think this is a pretty good texture for just about anything that doesn't need stand-up structure. It is very fluffy. I think this yarn would probably expand into the stitches with washing. But that's just because there's so much air in it. But yeah, I really liked it. I know a number of you guys, this is a little bit older compared to the Nordica and Spun Colors. So a number of you guys have already used this yarn. So I would love to see what you made with it. I would love to hear what you thought working with it. If there was something you thought in particular this yarn would do really well or not so well at, please comment down below because I would love to know what you think about it. I mean, once again, it's just another yarn I knew I was going to like once I saw it, and I was right. If you guys have a yarn you would like to see me review that I haven't used before, that's fairly easy to get, I would be open to reviewing more things that you have in mind. I am trying to do better at staying on top of releases from at least the big box yarn companies. But it is kind of hard because I am on a yarn ban. So I'm only able to buy things specifically to review for the channel. Because clearly I have a lot of yarn to use up. And this is just the cakes. This is just the cake wall. This doesn't include all the yarn behind you guys. So let me know if there's something you've seen or, you know, I haven't really discussed that is out on the market. As the year goes on, send me messages on Instagram, email, comment back on my old videos. I do read my comments as they come in. It may take me a couple days to respond, but I would be more than happy to discuss any of the yarns I already have, how they work, what I thought of them. I think most of what you guys see, you know, I've already discussed these. I did this last year, not in a review, but y'all have heard me wax on Poetic about the candy shop. I have not done coffee shop yet. I talked to you guys about the DK colors when I did the wisteria hat. I think everybody now has used mandala or cupcake, so they're familiar with that. But yeah, I mean, if there's something I've bought, or you're just curious and I can go and get a ball of it, I'd be more than happy to review anything you guys suggest, as long as I can find it at a reasonable price. Because this is specifically for the channel. But yeah, I just spent 15 minutes talking at you guys. I need to go rest my voice for a little while. I've now been filming for an hour and a half, so I'm going to rest my voice, sit down with my yarn, and get some crafting done. You guys take care. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave your comments down below, and I look forward to hearing back from you guys. Bye, guys, and thank you so much.